I'm here with Adam Kasraoui of ERI. Adam, my question for you. Many banks still rely on complex legacy systems. Why is modernizing core banking infrastructure still such a difficult challenge?
Thanks, Mark. So what we typically see is that the challenge isn't the technology itself, it's how everything connects. Many banks have modernized parts of their stack and often in silos. So rather than simplifying the experience, it can lead to digitizing existing complexity, and at the same time, expectations have shifted. So the real focus becomes how you bring systems, data, and journeys together in a way that feels seamless, and that's where most of the complexity sits.
Where do banks most often struggle when trying to simplify and modernize their technology foundations?
In most cases, the challenge comes from treating it purely as a technology initiative. In practice, it's more about design and alignment across the organization. So different teams tend to prioritize their own areas, but without clear ownership of the end-to-end journey, and the complexity gets recreated. So there's also often a gap between what's delivered internally at the bank and how it's experienced by the client, particularly around personalization. So the shift we're seeing is toward designing around a client journey and outcomes rather than organizational structures.
If you were sitting in the audience at Banking Transformation Summit, what's the question you'd most want someone to answer for you?
So a key question is how banks are measuring and demonstrating the outcomes of transformation. We hear a lot of focus, and we see a lot of focus on innovation, AI, and personalization. But increasingly, stakeholders are asking for evidence of impact. So that includes whether services actually becoming faster, clearer, smarter, and more relevant for clients. And the conversation is moving towards how transformation translates into tangible, measurable improvements.
If every senior leader in that room only acted on one thing this year, what should it be?
So a practical step we see in the market is to focus on one critical client journey and redesign it end to end, not just improving individual steps, but looking at where friction exists across the full experience. So in many cases where we see in the market, complexity is driven more by internal processes rather than client needs. So addressing one journey holistically can create a clear reference point for what effective transformation looks like.
In 5 years, what will the modern banking technology platform actually look like?
Big question mark. So it's likely to be less about a single platform and more about how effectively different capabilities are connected. We see leading organizations focusing on combining operational efficiency with consistent client experience and the ability to demonstrate value and trust. So AI is a big topic, and of course that will play a significant role, primarily in supporting decision making and improving productivity. And trust will remain critical and central, particularly in terms of transparency, explainability, and confidence in outcomes.